See you, Dogfighter. So yeah, once I have 2 more focuses, that should be about the right timing, and then I'll just deduct a number of political power, and we'll just add 15 stability. Probably about 100 political power, because I suspect that's how much it would cost. Japan announces her ambitions. Though the situation in Japan has been critical ever since the peace with Honor, numerous economic crises, unrest, and an ineffective response to German interventions in China leading to the collapse of the autocratic Tanaka regime. The Empire of the Rising Sun managed to bounce back, albeit only as a regional power with its influence limited to East Asia. You're cut off as well. Can I get over there quickly enough? Probably. Possibly. How long have you been walking for? If I'm very... Oh yeah, you just turned around. Mistake! Oh, but it occurs to me that these are all German units. So we ourselves would be at risk of cut-off, although if we have a man here, then we won't be. It looks like you've come to bring in some additional troops too. And we have just counterattacks going on everywhere. What? We arrived, didn't we? Oh, I mistimed that. Bugger. Well, I'll come in behind you. One less province for me to hold on to. And this should be 2 more units to kill, which will be very, very good. Do I have an opinion on what? Sorry, I missed that. Is there a way to remove them through console commands? No, because you can't remove individual events. Is it just me or the German units infuriating? Yeah, they're pretty annoying, seeing as they're not in this war. The Second Internationale, the first Syndicalist Internationale, head of Paris, dealt with the spreading of the ideology overseas, supporting Syndicalist movements and strengthening the ties between the Syndicalist nations, and thanks to the gathering success, the Second Internationale has been called to be held in London. Are you guys just not gaining equipment at all? We should be getting 5 a day. It's all part of your 5 a day. Tsingtao collaboration is finished. Good. Let's get the free civilian factories. The League is damaged. The war saw destruction on an unprecedented scale with thousands upon thousands of dead. Railways were destroyed, cities burned to the ground, and factories torched. While the League possesses the manpower to begin reconstruction efforts, it lacks the expertise and money. For this reason, specialized German crews should be invited to oversee the reconstruction work in many places. Now we can call in the military support. And the repeating events have gone, but that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and ping 1, 2 of you. Civilian factories gives us 3 civilians for 180 days, and this gives us 3 militaries for 180 days. So we can start increasing the number of guns we're producing, which will also make it now worth our while to buy in some steel. Germany, East Asia. I would like to buy some steel from you. Seeing as we are trade buddies. Do I have new guns? Not yet. I've still only got the 2 research slots. But we're working towards the research slots now. Burez and Zenith Lost, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Good to see you. It's -3 military. It's -3 military at the end of the 180 days, or however many days it was. You get +3, and then once the 180 finishes, then you get -3. It's basically just a way of saying you get them for 180 days. With our political position relatively stabilised, it's time for us to formally re-enter the collaboration with the AOG, starting with their main military and political arm, the Nanking Commission. While ostensibly an advisory board, the Commission's influence, especially after the assistance in crushing the Anqing revolt, has grown past the point of mere suggestions, and while their support is crucial, straying from their good side is political suicide. Okay, cutoff is destroyed. Saigon's under heavy attack. Kind of interesting to see just how many people have died in this fight. Be this one. Whoa, whoa! Why Flanders in this war? Also, Flanders not looking too hot. Germany stage has lost 77,000, but they've lost 144. They have no factories. That's interesting. Well, I guess that's because they don't have Saigon. Thanks to these constant naval invasions, which have actually been quite useful. Alright, so where is the next cutoff going to come from? I think trying to hit this unit would be quite good. So let's go ahead and place ourselves here with the intention of attacking that. Flanders probably rebelled against Germany, most likely. Build planes. What's a plane? Oh, we won already. Cool. Yeah, their units are getting really low on pretty much everything. Oops, no, don't do that. I was trying to draw a line here so you could start building up some planning prep again. And we have delay. Let's go and get mobile defense. Continue working on that. Rebuilding the Zhejiang Railway. Large amounts of the Central China Railway were damaged during the League collapse, whether by protesters or defectors. With the dust settled, we should request AOG support to rebuild the railway line, seeing as they're the reason we ended up in this catastrophe in the first place. So we can request funds for repairs, we can tell them to do it themselves. We're going to request the funds because this will increase our consumer goods factories and infrastructure construction. And considering we are doing a bunch of infrastructure construction, that's a good thing. Yes, the result of the Sun investigation was the same. We are now artillery neutral, so it's just rifles that we're short on. And now we do have enough. Here we go, partial mobilization, because war support has gone above 25%. Let's do it. And now it would actually be acceptable to build factories. So let's build a couple. Let's build 6 right there. And are you ready for an assault? You are. Go ahead and assist. Let's just make this a general attack because they... Well, actually, now they have Saigon. How many factories does that give them? 1? Yep. They're definitely not going to be able to replace losses. Manpower losses, sure. Gun losses? Nope. I think that's why the attack on Hanoi is so important for them. Oh, we actually got a Spanish Civil War this time. In a gesture of continued faith in Nanjing, the AOG has announced the opening of new offices in the city, further cementing the ties between our government and the German administration. Cool. The fall of Chicago. Federal forces have been pushing towards the combined syndicates of America's temporary capital of Chicago for a while now. Reports are coming in that Jack Reed's current whereabouts are unknown, but it's believed that he fled with the militia. And yeah, the Federales are doing quite well this time around. That's going to be a blow to the CSA, although that's a little bit tenuous. Lose either of those, and then this is one hell of a cutoff. But still, denying them for factories, even for a while, particularly in the early war, is a big deal. The Spanish Civil War. Ever since the defeat of Napoleon, Spain has been plagued by violence, dissent, and turmoil. No amount of pleading, deal-making, and appeasement has managed to do more than paper over the cracks as tensions bubbled. Finally, they've boiled over. The Spanish kingdom has been ripped apart by a three-sided civil war between the numerous factions. The loyalists of the Madrid government, the supporters of the pretender Javier, and finally the anarcho-syndicalist CNT FAI. So let me just see if I got a response. Furk, thank you very much for the follow. And Mad Orc Tormund. That's a very civilized name for a Mad Orc. Welcome to the channel. Hello. Good to see you. Finally, all of this warfare and bloodshed was worth it. For the trains. Yeah, you're right. Squire's comments are always good. And in fact, I will say, if you want to see Sir Squire's comments live, he is himself a streamer. Can we get a shout out for Sir Squire, please? Should just be !SO Sir Squire. Because he also streams stuff like this from time to time. They lost Saigon. Yeah, I know. Hopefully they just sailed away rather than being destroyed. I mean, Saigon is a port. Greece has joined the Belgrade Pact. Due to a shared hatred for Bulgaria's growing power, Greece has decided to enter the Belgrade Pact with Serbia to take down Bulgaria, once and for all. Alright, my troops did their good stuff. Who do we hit next? Stung Treng? I think probably Stung Treng. Really? We've done well over here. Unpaid concession leases. While Black Monday was a disaster, especially to the AOG, all charity has to end some time. With the continued failure of the Germans to pay their concession fees, it's looking like we will have to take it up with the AOG directly, so we can just leave it. We get some political power and some popularity of market liberalism, or we demand a full repayment. No, we're going to let that one be. AOG implements exclusive economic zones. Seizing upon their disproportionate influence in our country, the AOG has implemented a policy of economic exclusivity for German interests, effectively cinching their monopoly on the League investment. While mostly a simple acknowledgement of the present reality, it's concerning that the AOG holds such formidable power inside of our own government. Trade relations with the German Empire increased by 50. I don't see why this is a bad thing. It's just good business. More trade relations means more trade, means more money. The 1937 Dutch elections. The Netherlands has traditionally been one of the most politically stable nations in Europe, and the Dutch people have for years been entrenched in their own institutional pillars. Ruling CNA coalition was able to hold on to the recent elections, albeit with a weakened majority. Unwilling to countenance a coalition with the Liberals or the Rights, the Conservative bloc has decided to govern alone. So that should be a relatively stable Netherlands, actually. Hey, Duke. How's Mark Leake doing? Oh, Mark Leake is fine. The group over here, however, aren't looking too hot. Wasn't Fentiang, wasn't Qing, wasn't Turkestan. Xinjiang. Xinjiang's already died. Oh well, I tried. Not very hard, but I tried. Sweden has joined the Reichspact. So instead of Spain this time around, they got Sweden. Ah, move here. And you. Keep attacking, because you're going to lock them in. That's 8 divisions. If we can, like, encircle that, that would be huge. And that's a division with absolutely no strength. Man, some of these units are destroyed. And this is a humongous opening. Please exploit this. Please, you have a cavalry here. Use him. Norway has declared war on Denmark. That's just normal Norway, isn't it? It's Quisling Norway, so not exactly nice Norway. And then Denmark, who is not in the Reichspakt. Yeah, they're moving. I think that this might be approaching death knell for the uprising. German Reconstruction crews. Good. Let's get the Krupp industrial methods. Increases production efficiency cap and a research bonus for industry. If China wishes to modernize, it needs to adapt to the methods of those who were successful. Krupp is one of the more powerful German conglomerates, active in both the legations and the AOG. We should invite them to educate our engineers and entrepreneurs of how to develop new industry. We must make sure that China adopts German industrial methods if we are to have any chance in this world. How is this run going compared to the previous one? We're still alive, which is a bonus. Control of the concession factories. Due to the AOG's retraction after Black Monday, we were able to fill in the vacuum left and gain a modicum of control over the concession industries. While the situation is not likely to last long, it is appreciated nonetheless. And they seem to be managing well. More max factories in Wenzhou, Nantang and Xiamen. Speaking of which, yeah, we are still building more civilian factories in Jianling. So if we were to add artillery to all of these, that would be a big shortage. Okay, we just need to build more. Can't wait to see how they implement La Resistance into Kaiserreich. It's going to be such more fun than this already phenomenal mod. I agree. I think that Kaiserreich in particular is going to have a lot of things to do with the espionage system. I think that that's going to be a very big deal. So you've got troops there, but nothing here. You are marching through here, but not supporting me. And we're about to lose that attack. And then they're counter-attacking me. I think what I want to do is move you there. And tell you to stay here. You can fill into there. That's good. Actually, you know what? If they're not going to push, sod it, I will. Because if I can just go and pinch Saigon... Flanders is gone. They've lost 155,000 troops. Man, this has been a brutal fight. Come on, come on. I'll do. German Investment Council. With their interior now officially up for grabs, the OG has decided to head off the inevitable chaos of this veritable gold rush and establish an investment council to regulate German businesses in the region. While this is undoubtedly a boon, it is somewhat unfortunate that it is the Germans, and not us, who are in direct control. Wunderbar! We get 2 civilian factories and market liberalism, or assistance not needed. No, absolutely, brilliant. Bring it. More industry is more good. More better, good stuff. So where's my army gone? Really decided to go the long way around. Encircle them all, that's going to be better than Saigon, isn't it? Oh! That's an early Weltkrieg. And a whole bunch of these German troops are now about to disappear, I think. War over Haute Savoie. The world has watched with looming apprehension as the Commune of France has made increasingly aggressive demands for the control of the Swiss-occupied region of Haute Savoie. The region has been occupied by Swiss forces since the end of the Weltkrieg, and Bern's refusal to recognise communal government in Paris as the rightful owner of the territory has inflamed tensions between 2 nations ever since. Today, however, instead of continued negotiations and diplomatic action, it was artillery fire that marked the next steps in the negotiations. I really hope this means that Indochina isn't about to join the Third Internationale. Because that would be really annoying. And bad on multiple levels. And in the middle of the night, the Viet Minh soldiers would wake up sweating profusely, shaking uncontrollably, the League battle cry echoing constantly in their darkest nightmares. Billy! Billy! The Weltkrieg claimed the lives of countless young men from all over the world in a conflict of an industrial scale, but it appears that even that nightmare could not deter man's lust for blood. After over 20 years of proxy warfare, diplomatic pressure and political squabbles, the uneasy peace between Germany and France has broken down. These two great powers are now mobilizing their armies in preparation for a war, the likes of which the world has never seen. Tensions have been running high between the two regional powers for years now as the ideological differences drove the nations further and further apart. Support for Chile, for the FOP in Patagonia, and the incapacity of Argentina to quell the rebellion have finally come to blows. A troubling development. Bye-bye support. We never had support from them anyway. Germany only ever had access here. They're not actually in the war. So all of the troops that were like this guy, they're grey for a reason. They're not actually fighting. They were just annoying. Mexico joined the Third Internationale. Switzerland joined the Third Internationale. Denmark joined the Reichspakt, which is very bad for Norway, because Norway is now at war with the Reichspakt. Paraguay declared war on Argentina. What I'm going to do is move you over here to see if we can burn that unit down a bit faster. Oh, you're not supposed to be a... Yeah, you are attacking. That's fine. Deng is almost finished up as an organizer. That's really good. You've got infantry expert. In fact, you have several traits that I need you to pick. I want you to have offensive doctrine. I want you to have infantry expert, because I suspect there's going to be a lot of infantry in my armies. German Reconstruction imports. The loss of our southern territories has caused us somewhat of a resource disaster in the country, with many traditional internal industries now cut off from us. To alleviate this, the AOG has suggested a relaxation of the regulations on German imports into the country, only until our internal economy has righted itself, of course. Production efficiency plus 10%, resources to market minus 5 for 365 days. Sure. AOG requests Ostasian docking rights. While Ostasia has sizable dockyards in Tsingtao, the AOG has requested that we allow German ships to dock in the League cities also, as a simple precaution against the chaotic naval actions in the China Sea. Granted. We like the AOG. Or rather, the Ostasia. What happens to the AOG if Germany dies? Not actually sure. I mean, there'll be a minor partner in the same war, so they may also get defeated. So it's now in our interests to make sure that Germany does not die. Oof, Saigon's just brought in a bunch of extra troops. Alright, let's halt this attack. Let's reduce this line down to here. I'll tell you to move there. Krupp industrial methods finished. Let's get the German research aid. Increases our research speed. German technology far exceeds our own. We could significantly ramp up our research capabilities if we had access to cutting-edge German research. We must establish a cooperation between the universities and research groups in China and Germany. Alright, now you guys are going to staff office plan, so that we can prepare this attack on Saigon all the better. Saudi Arabia has joined the Cairo Pact. You know what? I'm going to have you attacking north. Not Saigon. Because this will allow me to attack Saigon from 2 angles, and hell, if we take more of this, then we can hit them from more angles. Land prep done. Go. Battling inflation, the League Yuan has suffered from both Black Monday and the League collapse. To prevent a complete financial meltdown, the OG has pledged support to the DAB in backing up the Yuan, in return for various financial concessions. Political power gain, or political power. How generous. The AOG requests Ostasian military access. In a rather audacious request, the AOG has asked us to give military access to the Ostasian troops to protect German interests in the country. While this would be a drastic ceding of sovereignty, the local level of AOG influence in our government makes it difficult to refuse. Seems reasonable. I really do wish that there were some negatives. Like, you can get all of these good things from Germany, but the market liberalism should come with a negative, like reducing stability or something in your own nation. Although I guess it is. Like, the less party popularity you have, the less stability you have, because I think the two are tied together. Ruling party popularity 0%. Well, maybe they're not. I think in vanilla they are. What read that one already. How goes the Second American Civil War? Probably not as well as last time. Then again, maybe it is. The Federales have actually managed to hold on to Chicago. And it looks like the USA is doing a number against the CSA. Ecuador and Peru have made peace. Baltic War. For many years, the United Baltic Duchy is set up by the Germans after their conquest of the former Russian Governorate during the Weltkrieg has marginalized its native Estonian and Latvian populace. Though the local population has been ruled by German elites for centuries, the imposition of German ducal structure under Duke Friedrich and policies that both favour German settlers and undermine the natives, open rebellion has broken out. Any reason when I try to start Hoi 4 I cannot enable any mods, including the latest Kaiserreich? Load the game up without any mods, and then shut it down, then load it again. It should work. Shouldn't one of your troops be attacking instead of both supporting the attack? Doesn't matter. Makes zero difference. The difference between a supporting attack and an attacking attack is the attackers will move into the province and the supporters won't. You very nearly got Organizer, which is good.